bring our full awareness here. As always, we begin with breath. Beginning by simply noticing the breath without changing it. Just notice where the breath lands on the inhale. And notice perhaps if it feels like the exhale is full and deep. Or does it feel a little short? It's not about right or wrong, it's about what is. When people talk about mindfulness, it really isn't that mystical of an experience. Mindfulness is bringing the mind home to the body to arrive here in our physical form. Our mind can run right, left, up, down, all the diagonals, spin in circles, make up stories, rehash past. When we come present, we're inviting the mind to simply settle. And we do that with our breath, bringing the mind into this moment, present in the body. So each time there's an invitation to sense into something, that's the invitation to bring the mind home to this moment through the breath or the movement and anchor it in the body. Just following the breath. Perhaps noticing as we bring attention to breath, perhaps it deepens and expands a little bit more. Perhaps we can notice a little bit of stillness in our mind. Perhaps other parts of our anatomy become clearer as we breathe. And now find a big, deep breath into the low belly and let it go with a sigh. Ah. And again. Ah. And one more. Ah. Walking the feet out as wide as the rungs of the chair, or maybe a little wider. We're going to tip the knees together. We're going to cross the arms We're going to cat arch the back so the chin is coming toward the heart. The back of the neck is releasing. The space between the shoulder blades is broadened. And on the next inhale, come up and switch the cross of the arms. We'll do that again. Breathe in. And on the exhale, we turn to a cat arch in the upper back. You'll probably notice you rock back just a little bit toward the tailbone or the back of the sits bones. Breathe here. And now we come back, release the arms, turn the feet out, and we're going to float the arms behind us. You can even flip the hands over to press the wall away behind. As we draw the shoulder blades together, we lift the heart, lift the chin, don't drop the head back, lift the chin so the front of the throat, the front of the neck gets a stretch. Breathe. And release. We're going to do that again. Breathe in and out. And on the next in-breath, float those arms back, lift the heart, feel the stretch in the low back. Maybe we activate the feet here, pressing into the feet, shoulder blades draw together, breathe. And then back to neutral. So let's do some flow with that. We're going to begin by turning the toes in, the knees touch, cross the arms. This is the out breath. The in breath, pivot the feet open, reach behind. On the out breath, the feet pivot in, the knees touch. The in breath, the arms open, the feet open. One more time in each direction, knees touch, the feet pivot inward. Breathe in to open, turn the feet out, and come to neutral. Walk the feet in about sits bone or hip joint width apart. Hopefully you're sitting forward on the chair. If that's available to your body today, please do that. We're going to take that left hand to the right thigh. We're going to sweep the left arm to the sky. We're going to reach through the fingertips and we're going to tip slowly toward the left side. And why I say slowly, if we come back to center, if we begin the tip, we're going to feel a pull probably in the rib cage. We're going to stop there and breathe, inviting that side of the rib cage, that musculature between the ribs, to feel the potency of our breath, stretching, softening, meeting that musculature. And then float the arm down, bring it to the left thigh, release that left arm, float the arm up. We're going to extend first, and then we slowly begin the tip toward the right side. And we're going to pause as soon as we feel a little bit of engagement in the rib cage. We're not going past that. Draw the belly up and in and breathe here. And of course, if your shoulders don't feel happy today, you can always extend straight out of the shoulder. You don't have to ever go overhead. Then we float that arm down, walk the feet out, toes turn in, cat arch. We're paying attention in the cat arch here. Notice the rib cage expand with breath. So this will be in the back side of the body. One more breath. And now we're going to turn our feet out, release the hands, stretch back. Draw the shoulder blades together, lift the heart. Notice the rib cage here in this breath pattern. And now let's come back to neutral. Walk those feet in. Going to come to standing now. So step 1 foot forward and 1 foot back. Hinge forward. Maybe the hands press into the thighs to lift, or maybe they rest dangling as we come to standing. When we come to standing, we'll be in mountain. So we're going to work our feet first today. We're going to do some footwork and then we're going to do some balance work. So to begin with, we're going to rock our feet right and left. So we're coming into the outer edge of 1 foot, the inner edge of the other. We're going right and left. I'm going to take my feet just a little wider because that feels like it gets in there just a little bit more. Breathing. Maybe noticing the tight bits on the outside of the ankle. That happens to a lot of us. Then we're going to come to center. We're going to dig our toes into the mat. Let the heart come forward. And then on the exhale, we're going to lift our toes and feel the back side of our body rock back. So we're going to do this with a flow. Breathe in. And on the exhale, rock forward, dig the toes in. On the inhale, lift the toes, rock backwards. On the exhale, dig the toes in. And on the inhale, rock backwards. And those toes lift. And then we're going to pause. So we're going to do a little more footwork now on the ball mound of the foot. So if balance is a challenge, you can have a chair nearby to touch down, or you can be near a wall. We're rolling across the ball mound of the foot in one direction. We're going to pause. I'll make my feet just a little wider and go in the other direction. So while we're working the ball mound of the foot, you may notice this in your knee, your quadricep, your hip, maybe all the way up into the shoulder. As we've mentioned before, it's all connected, as are we. We're going to pause here and notice the different sides of the body, and we're going to take that to the other foot. So we're circling on the ball mound, so the heels up off the floor, circling on the ball mound of the foot. And then we switch directions. And then we're going to pause in mountain and just feel maybe the sensation in the feet. Maybe it's a little clearer to the mind now. Maybe we can actually sense the feet in their fullness, in their complexity, just grounded to the floor. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to flip the toes over. I've turned sideways so you can see it. And then we're going to circle across the toes. So we've got the top of the ankle is facing more or less toward the floor, the front of the ankle facing toward the floor. These are going to be smaller circles than when we were doing the ball mound. And then switch directions. Pause. Set that foot down and notice. And now let's switch to the other foot. So we turn the toes backward. The front of the foot is facing more or less toward the floor. So we're not on the ball mound. We're on the front of the toes, the top of the toes, and we're circling. And you might notice that one foot has way more noise in it than the other. That's what I'm noticing today. Maybe that's true for you too. Change the circle. And then come back to standing. We're in mountain. Just for a second, notice your jaw. Did the work in the feet allow the jaw to relax just a little bit more? So we're going to do 4 components. We're going to do them individually, then we're going to put them together in a flow pattern. We're going to begin with palm tree. I'll turn sideways. So palm tree is when we come up in releve, we come up on the ball mound of the feet, have a wall or the chair nearby if balance is an issue. And in palm tree, the arms go above the head. If that's too much, the hands can always be at heart center or resting on the waist. You decide what feels best for your body. And then we release that. Palm tree. The next practice is the knee lift. This is Potagustasana. This is the beginning of hand to big toe posture. We're going to do it by just lifting one knee and the opposite arm. Release. And now we come to the other knee. Lift and the opposite arm. And of course, the arm can be on the waist, on the chair, on the wall, your choice. We're going to go back and forth here like a march. Make it slow. Pay attention to the transitions. Don't go too quickly. And you can always just come to the tiptoes if lifting that knee feels like too much today. We want to make sure our yoga practice is never too much. It's going to be just enough for where our body is on any given day. The next posture we're going to add is tree. So with tree, we begin by turning the right foot out. That can rest at the ankle, can come up to the calf. Because we're moving, we're going to move with this. We're not going to be lifting it all the way to the inner thigh if that is your proclivity. Maybe one arm comes up, maybe the other arm, or maybe the hands are at heart center. You decide, or maybe the waist. And then we're going to release that. Let's do it on the other side. So now we bring that, we open the leg, however far, get behind a white wall behind me, however far. You can rest the heel on the ankle. You can slide it up to the calf. You decide what feels best for you. The arms can rise. It could be one arm. Hands could be at heart center. Hands could be on the waist. You decide what feels best for you. And then that foot returns to the mat. And then we go for warrior 3. So with warrior 3, we begin with a little bit of a bent knee. We extend the opposite leg. We can do it with the toes down, touch down, or maybe we lift the leg up. You get to decide. You can extend both arms, one arm, hands to waist, hands behind, hands to the chair. Play with it and decide what feels best for your body today. And then we're going to come to stand. So one of the things that I did that's a little different is I'm not straightening my standing leg. I'm keeping a little bend in it. So we'll go to the other side now. So we connect with the standing leg, put a little bend in the knee, extend the opposite foot, and then we're going to lift that leg any amount. Hands can be in the position that we have deemed most helpful for us today. And then we're going to release that foot to the floor, come back to standing. And now we're going to put those 4 practices into a flow. So be very conscientious, because there will be transitions when we move from one position to the next. Take your time getting there. I'm going to do my best to pace it so that we're pretty slow, but we're going to continue to move. So again, we're going to do a palm tree, a knee lift, a regular tree, and a warrior 3. So won't you join me? Beginning in mountain, have your balance support system nearby. Breathe in, and we come up into palm tree, our version of palm tree. We release, arms down, one knee rises and releases, the other knee rises and releases. We come to tree on one side. We're going to go to warrior 3 here. So that knee comes forward, soft bend in the knee. We're coming to warrior 3. That foot slides forward, comes back to the ground. Tree now on the other leg. Turn that leg out, find your tree. Then that knee is going to come forward, and we're going to slide that foot back, coming into our version of warrior 3. Slide the toe forward and pause in the center. We're going to do that one more time. So we begin with palm tree. Release. Lift a knee. Release. Is your breath moving? Lift the other knee. Release. Come to tree. Bring the knee forward as we slide it back into warrior 3. Bring that foot back to the mat. We'll do tree on the other side. That knee comes forward, soft standing leg, warrior 3. And then back to mountain. Shake it out. We're going to take our feet wide, as wide as feels comfortable for you. Our feet are going to be parallel. We're going to hinge forward, bringing our torso parallel to the floor. Maybe the hands touch the mat. Maybe they hold on behind the legs. We're going to wag our tail here just a little bit. Then we're going to take our hands to the right side. So that can be down at the ankle or the foot, or at the thigh or the calf. Come back to center. Take it now to the opposite side. So now we go to the left side. Hand can be on the foot, ankle, calf, or thigh. Breathe here. Come back to center. Bend the knees and then hinge up. Walk the feet slowly in. Pause here. And let's close our practice with some weight shifts. So we're going to take our feet maybe as wide as the hip joints, maybe just a little wider. We're going to shift the weight to the left. Maybe the right foot comes off of the floor. We're going to shift to the right. Maybe the left foot comes off the floor. Breathe with me as we do weight shifting right and left. And then the next time we're back at center, we'll do weight shifts forward and back. And now switch the feet so the foot that was in the back is in the front. Weight shifts. And then we pause. Connect with the feet as we stand in mountain. Feel the connection of the feet to the floor now. And now won't you join me as we return to our chair for our Shavasana, our final resting posture for the practice today. As we return our attention to the breath, notice, has anything shifted? Notice if we can feel the rib cage expand and release with each breath. Let the mind settle. Let the breath deepen. Let this moment find us within the center of our being, present and mindful. Today's thought is from Yogananda. Darkness may reign in a cave for thousands of years, but bring in the light and the darkness vanishes as though it had never been. Yogananda. And we close our practice by opening our arms wide, gathering all the blessings. They already exist, and drawing them into our hearts in appreciation and gratitude. Together, we all say, Namaste.